And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Wednesday it is, the day before Thanksgiving. Is everyone ready? We got, Black Friday up and coming. That'll be here before we know it. Do you plan to do the traditional thing of going to the store, or do you do it all online now? Boy, I remember back in the day it was an argument. We used to give away parking places at the mall because there was such a demand to get near the front door. Anybody remember that? That was a big deal back in the day there. Yeah. I want to remind you of this as you're getting up. It is froggy is an understatement. Let me show you radar. It's so thick now as we pull up here from here to Jackson. Matter of fact, if you would go from Selma, Alabama, all the way across from Utah into Mississippi there on I-20, all the way to Vicksburg, it's going to be hardly where you can see. Once you reach Meridian on the outskirts, it gets thicker and thicker all the way over to Jackson. I want to remind you of all of these intersections on these 4 lanes, especially 45, 39. Be careful pulling out into that medium and then trying to take that turn. Make sure you look both ways. We have so many wrecks that happen during these. We don't want you to be a statistic on this. We're hoping we'll be safe, and more safe. Mississippi Highway Patrol will be on extra patrol this weekend, to say the least, giving out those Mississippi welcomes, so to speak. Y'all be careful out there. Right now, 47 is warmed up. When we first got here, it was about 42. We've warmed up a lot. We're headed toward a high of about 72. Partly sunny later on, kind of how it done yesterday. It was kind of cloudy in the beginning and the fog and things. It'll get better before it's all said and done. 6:33, how do you feel? Bob is up. Thought it was a snow blind. No, but let me warn you all of this. Cold weather. Do you have your wood? Do you have propane? You need to get it today or first thing Friday morning. Most people are going to be off tomorrow, so you won't be able to get it. But we have a cold front coming in. We're looking for a low on Friday night of 28 is what we're going to get to. That's cold for us. 31 on Saturday night, and then Sunday night we'll be back down to 27. So extreme temperatures are coming. We'll get into the forecast in just a moment. We want you to stay warm, and more warm. We'll be right back.
Well, Thanksgiving Day is here. I hope you have an awesome day full of turkey, dressing, sweet potato casserole, which is my personal favorite, and sweet tea. You know, I'm thankful for many things, as I'm sure you are too. You know, God's been way too good to me. I have a wonderful wife, 3 great sons, a lot of other family that I know loves me, a great church that I call home, and a great place to work. I have food on the table, I have a home, I have a job that I really love. Most of all, above everything, I know that Christ has saved me and He's given me new life. Part of the blessing of knowing Christ is how God puts the right people around you. You know, aren't you thankful for those who help you and encourage you? You know, I think about our team that helps with our students, or you may call it youth, at our church. They give of their time, energy, finances, and so much else to help our 6th through 12th graders grow to know Jesus. Many times they've provided a wise thought or a correction that's helped make our ministry healthier and holier. I know we could not survive without them, and you know, in the same way, on an individual level, we need those kind of people in our lives to speak truth to us. Here's what Proverbs 25 says. A word spoken at the right time is like gold apples in silver settings. A wise correction to a receptive ear is like a gold ring or an ornament of gold. This text tells us we need help. We need others to speak truth into our lives to help point us to Jesus. That's why it's so important to be a part of a local church. The question I have for you, though, is this. Are we receptive? Notice the verse says that the person hearing the wisdom has to be receptive for it to be a blessing. You know, sometimes I think we have it all together and that we don't really need help from anybody else. But that's just not true. We need each other as we follow Christ. You know, on this Thanksgiving Day, I pray that you'll tell somebody, hey, thank you for pushing me to know Christ better. Thank you for loving me in a way that makes me more like Jesus. And you know, maybe tell somebody, thank you that you had that hard conversation with me that I didn't necessarily want at the time, but I needed. Man, I'm thankful for all God's blessings. And I pray you have a great one today. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back as we begin another morning there. Good morning, Jeff Lewis. Glad to see you joining us. Alan Carlisle, Diane. Odie, there may be help for you yet or hope for you yet. The oldest man in the world has passed away at the age of 112. How are you doing on that list?
Well, I'm still behind you.
You're still behind me. No word yet who will take that place as the oldest person, but the oldest ever recorded. And I really, as I think back on the movie, do y'all remember watching The Green Mile? Mm-hmm. Would you really want to be that person? I don't think I would. I don't want to be the last man standing, so to speak. The oldest person ever recorded was supposedly around 122 years old. That's all. Even, yeah, 112. That had to have also. We'll see who the torch is passed on to next. He was from England. A new world record coming on that. Boy, lots of changes come January. As we were talking yesterday about Michaels, the CEO. Subway, the CEO, getting a new CEO come January 1. Rump row. Huh. Travel this weekend. They're expecting, and y'all expect this as we always watch Meridian, the corridors, as they come down 45 from the south and which way, I-20. 80 million Americans will be traveling this, well, now. They're trying to get home. 80 million from airports all across the U.S. of A. Y'all be careful out there. Amazon workers are trying to disrupt America. Oh, we're talking about a strike on Black Friday. That wouldn't be good, would it? From all types of countries, they're talking about doing that. Hopefully they'll be able to work out whatever it is that they're wanting. We don't need that to happen there. I look at the new guy, and you know that old saying, there's a new sheriff in town? Well, there truly is. Well, come January 20th, to where we've seen multiple. We've watched it here. Let's just be honest about it. I reported one morning here, someone was pulled over and it had a car full of people that were not from the United States. They couldn't prove their identity, and they were told by law enforcement from the big house to, well, let them go and turn them over to their people that they work for. They would deal with it later. That's not going to be happening after January the 20th. Trust me. So much that the new border czar, Tom Homan, y'all know what I'm talking about? Denver, Colorado. They got a mayor that says, well, we're going to be sanctuary city. He says, you do it, I'm coming to arrest you. We're taking your federal money, and I will arrest you. I don't think Trump is fooling with this. There's a line in the sand, and we've seen other presidents draw a line in the sand and then step back 4 feet and go, now, I really meant that. Let me draw another line. And they keep stepping back. Y'all have seen that. I'm going to do it this time. It's like the parent who can't parent. If you do that one more time, if I was a child, it was half a second into doing it, and they told me they'd do it harder the next time if I did it. Now, a lot of us were raised that way. And you know what? It works. It teaches you right from wrong. If there's a bully on the playground, you can't step back. Sometimes you got to face your biggest fear. I think I watched Opie do that one time with the sandwich. Y'all remember that, the lunch money? I learned a lot from it, and other little boys should. No matter who you are, stand up for what you believe in. Now, I'm not saying do anything wrong. I'm saying stand up for what's right in America. As we look at this, we got somebody that's going to jail. He even traveled to a rally. He threatened to harm the president of the U.S. of A. moving in. He was 45. He's going to be 47. He threatened an Arizona man. He has been arrested, traveled, took video, made all types of claims of what he was going to do. They take it serious. Harvey Weinstein. Nothing good comes to mind when I think of that. You probably don't either. He's down here, kind of with the catfish. He's attempting to sue the New York City Department of Corrections for medical negligence. What'd you do to those ladies again? I think we all know. We talked about this several times over the last few days. Georgia, that Lincoln Continental that was just found, a 1979 model, it was less than a year old. They found it at the bottom of a pond as they were looking for another car. It turns out it was a retired oil man. When he and his wife went missing, his wife was wearing $80,000 worth of jewelry. There is bone in the car. They have identified it, I believe, as being them. The scramble is on to figure out who, what, and why. I think we can kind of see into the future or in the past of what probably happened here. We'll wait to see. Have y'all seen that? It's something else to look. 79 Lincoln rusted at the bottom of a pond. It was put there on purpose, and we know that. We see that, oh, bless this. 1973, a little girl come up missing. She went to school and never returned home. A body was found, but they couldn't identify it. They have positively identified it as her now. Her family, nearly 50 years later, 52, 52,
Yeah, 52 years later.
has been identified. Now, they don't know what happened. They don't know who did it, but they have made a step after that many years of knowing that it is her. Still hurts. It doesn't matter how long it's been. And I know that we all say it gives you peace of mind. You don't have to wonder if they're still out there is the only thing I guess you can say about that.
Like a closure.
It is some form of closure. And then it opens up those other questions. Who did it?
Yep.
And it makes you, well, you know where I'm going with that. Walmart. I'm seeing companies do this nationwide all of a sudden where they're starting to roll back this DEI thing. Should have never been there to begin with, should it?
Well, they realized
Oh,
it
boy. Yeah, it isn't working.
Work ain't gonna work.
Israel, they approved a ceasefire deal with Lebanon. Well, let's hope that they work this out and that's taken care of. This has nothing to do with the other side of the scrabble that's going on. But we do have hope there that this will start to take place. Lebanon, maybe they'll work all of that out. We'll see. A tourist boat that overturned in Egypt. Still 13 people missing. They have recovered 3 bodies. It's grim, I know, but it's it's the facts of what's happening this morning. We have some bad people that's been wanted for, 20 years. They were activists. Now, let's just say they've done some harm to the U.S. of A. They've been caught in another country after 20 years. The good guys, they're supposed to be the good guys. Every now and then, I think we've got a local story also coming up out of the Jackson area of somebody in law enforcement that's just been recently arrested. We do. We'll talk about that after the morning show this morning. FBI agent is accused of multiple rapes after he was found not guilty of attempted murder 2 years ago. We've got a bad apple. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
And again, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law with all of this. We'll see what becomes of that. A shipwreck. Boy, I always like the treasure hunting stuff. Who doesn't? A map, finding things. 1715, a ship went down. I'm not so sure that the gold wasn't stolen to begin with, but some of the people that found it stole part of it. The part they took was worth $1 million. They've been busted. Rump row. You don't ever really get away with it, whether no one finds out or not. There is guilt. Oh, I know you're thinking there's people out there that have no guilt, no shame. You may be right. Evil is evil, and evil sleeps. I've often heard, how do they sleep at night? They sleep good because they have no conscience. They're bad to the core, and they do exist. I didn't call any names, did I? Making sure I didn't make a mistake. Let's see what is happening this morning on our headlines here. And we'll talk about this on a local level. What was it that Forrest said, stupid is as stupid does? He said something like that. A TikToker trying to prove a point that she could, steal. She posted the video. She's been arrested. Use your side. It was over $500 worth. Now, it's got to be listed as a misdemeanor, which I disagree with. But she still stole. She's going to jail for what she done. I still believe that you ought to have to stand around with a sign out front. Walk the road. Say I stole or something.
In front of the store.
Yeah, in front of it. It teaches a lesson. And we have so few without lessons these days.
You would have so many people out there walking, you could drive.
Yeah, you're right. You couldn't go around them. But something needs to be done. We'll see what becomes of everything. All of that's on the way. We'll be right back. We'll get into your forecast next here this morning.
The most wonderful time of the year is just around the corner, and Al's Garden and Gift is ready for a magical Christmas season. From sparkling Christopher Radko ornaments to custom wreaths by Wanda, we've got your holiday decor covered. Looking for the perfect gift? Try our custom baskets packed with treats like Mississippi cheese straws and old-fashioned peppermint sticks. And be sure to add vibrant colors to your outdoors with pansies and snapdragons. Charm and beauty await your home this wonderful season. Merry Christmas from Al's Garden and Gift.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs and record lows, we go back to 1973, where we had a high of 84 on this day. Back in 1903, it was cold, 21. We're going to have kind of weather close to that Friday night. Okay, 26, but it's still cold, isn't it? As we look to today, 71 to 72, depending upon where your boots are standing, all the way to Columbus. We should see somewhere around 68 as you pass Mississippi State and Bully. Once you make it to Greenwood, deep in the Delta, it'll be 70 down to Natchez at 74. We go east into Bama, we see 72 there in Demopolis. Still foggy down I-20, be careful. 68 in Birmingham, we'll see 69 over in Auburn with the Tigers this morning. As we look to what's going to be happening, freeze likely, frost without a doubt. Make sure to cover up that windshield. I learned my lesson the other night of not parking under a carport. Need to go somewhere quickly, and you just can't. Driver's license are perfect for scraping off windshields, by the way. Temps will fall to 25 to 30 over the weekend. Y'all be prepared for this. Gas logs, heat, whatever you got to do, be prepared. We do have storms moving in tonight after midnight. Now, this is a level 1. We'll be on standby should something happen. We'll go live. It'll be carrying through about 11 a.m. tomorrow. We'll watch these storms closely, and we'll be able to predict this a little bit closer as this moves in. It's always still hit and miss at 24 hours out exactly when it will. We've all guessed, and then we're wrong by 2 hours. We'll watch it closely, and as it gets close, we'll let you know. Here's the outlook over the next 10 days. Cold over in east Alabama. Look at that. Into Georgia, the Carolinas, up to Washington, D.C. Now, it's still cool in Mississippi, but colder to the east. As we look to today's forecast, 71 to 72. Fog is thick this morning. We get down to 67 tomorrow for that high, 37 for a low tomorrow night. And this is where those temperatures start dropping. 28 on Friday night, 33 Saturday night, and 27 on Sunday night. Not much better Monday night either, is it? 29? I'm cold-natured to begin with. Thinking about it makes my teeth chatter. We move on through December the 11th as we get near this. Look at this, the 4th. We're at 41 for a low. Highs in the mid-60s mostly there, or low 60s, however you want to word that. Nighttime's lows will average around 40 to 41. Christmas time is definitely coming. What's happening when it comes to fishing today? 8:47, let's call it 9 o'clock this morning is good. 9 through 11 is perfect. It'll be after dark for your second greatest time, but you get a small chance of fishing between 2 and 4 this afternoon. Here's the downfall to this entire thing about fishing or hunting today. Light south wind becoming south, southwest 5 to 10 with gusts of 20, which will definitely interrupt anything that you're doing with fishing. Does that also is, I should have changed that instead of saying Wednesday. It's supposed to say Thursday, but, well, we all know it is. A little boo-boo there. I was in a hurry. Our best fishing times today hunting times begin at 8 through about 10. So you still got time to get a cup of coffee and ease into the woods. Second major time is after dark. You'll get a chance around 2 o'clock this afternoon. 2 to 3 is that window of good time. Average time, 6:35 with sunrise, and sunset hits at 4:49 this afternoon. And again, gusty winds of about 20 miles an hour. Let's go back and take a look at radar before I turn you loose and we get ready for the morning show. Here's what we're showing here with fog, and I kid you not, it is thick. The red is where it's really intensified. That's going to be western Lauderdale County into Newton, back over to Scott, all the way to Jackson. And it's going to get thick as you're coming out of Utah, Tuscaloosa. The closer you get, let's just zoom in on this, around Livingston, Epps, Alabama, it gets heavy. By the time you get right out here near the prison, the split, it's bad. Anywhere south of Meridian toward Quitman, thick, and more thick. We even have some areas up here in 495, 493, right before you get to Highway 16, stretching over to Highway 491 before you get to Ford's Grocery. They're at the Dollar General there on 16. And this is one dangerous stretch of highway here. I cannot stress to you from Geiger, Alabama, all the way to the county line past the casinos, how bad that is. As we look at Louisville, we got a little bit there. This is going to get real close as we get up here just north of Noxapater. Be careful in those areas. We don't want anything to happen to you. We go south all the way down to Quitman. South of there, you get into Waynesboro. It's still thick. In this 2-lane stretch, as you get near Centronelle, it's still a little bit there. All the way over to Brookhaven, back into Louisiana. Natchez is thick as well. May not be able to see the Mississippi River Bridge. All right, y'all hang close with us right now. Again, we're sitting at 47 in thick fog, and we'll be back in just a moment as we'll kick the morning show off beginning at 7. We've got our first guest to talk about, well, what's going on in Quitman, the Christmas parade. December the 2nd, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to find out all about that, how you can get signed up if you haven't, where to sit, and what to watch. Yeah, we got all that on the way. Join us once it begins at 7. We'll be right back.